Hi, BiNi. Good to see you today.
Good to see you too. How are you?
I'm doing great. I haven't seen you since, let's see, our interview and our photo session for Black Women in Business Journeys and Resilience, the book that Coach Rose Smith and I have coming out. So,
Yes, thank you for inviting me to be in that. That was quite an honor. I appreciate that.
well, it's a really fine book with just the most amazing group of women. I love every story. I love reading them over and over again. But I do have a question for you, particularly today. I know that you're involved. You're an entrepreneur. You're involved in many activities in the community, many organizations, and we all like to talk about the good stuff that happens. But as we all know, with life, sometimes we have roadblocks or speed bumps or just things that come to set us back a little bit. So, how do you handle setbacks? And I know there aren't many of them, but when one comes in, liar, liar, pants on fire. So when you have a setback, how do you handle it?
Well, the first thing, I'm a processor, so I generally don't react or just try not to react. A reaction is never productive, and I always end up wishing I'd said something differently, thought it through, got more information to inform myself. I'm
Mhm.
that person. If you're Myers-Briggs, I'm that
Yeah.
person, the analytical. I got to think through everything, got to put it all together first, and then figure out what I think about this matter and get all the facts and everything. So first of all, I try to step back and understand the situation better, because there's sometimes when you're in the moment, you want to react, but there's rationale on all ends, right? And things happen, and bad things happen to good people. That old adage. Why do we know why? Well, because there is no why, because no one is exempt from the human experience, and anything can potentially happen to anybody. So, first of all, understanding that it's not just about you, it's not
Mhm.
just about bad luck, or everything is a lesson that can be learned, hopefully to prevent these things from happening over repeatedly, especially if you're dealing with the same kind of thing over and over. You got to kind of look inside a little bit
Mhm.
and say, how can, not that you're doing something bad. You're like, as a good person who's been burned many times, it's not that I was always doing something bad, but it was that I need to modify how I respond and put myself out there in order to be burned, right? And then what do I do, and how much do I risk, and things like that. So, just looking back at the situation, understand it, figure out lessons learned, and then just keep moving.
Yep.
You got to keep stepping. Like, you got to take another step, and you got it. Life goes on.
Yeah.
People need you. You have a schedule. Sometimes you can take a little time for yourself and let people know, clear your schedule, and just say, I'm not doing these meetings today, or if they're not absolutely essential. And people are always willing to be gracious and reschedule. So you take the time you need, but don't take too much time, or more than you need, rather. Know yourself, but also keep it stepping, because sometimes the stepping forward in continuing life and continuing to move also helps you move out of that funk that you might get into when you're
Mhm.
just reflecting and processing the trauma over and over in your mind.
Mhm.
Sometimes helping someone else, or brightening someone else's day, or giving someone even a compliment, or just getting back to work, getting back task oriented, takes your mind off of things and moves you back forward. So it's just, you got to know your own balance for when it's time, but keep it moving, keep stepping.
I love
Life
it.
goes on.
I
Mhm.
love it. I mean, excellent advice, especially the time to reflect, taking the time to reflect and think about what happened and doing a bit of an analysis and then moving on. Good, good, good advice. And thank you for sharing that today.
Yes, ma'am. Anytime. Thank you for having me.
Look forward to seeing you again soon.
All right.